Hello everybody, it's Dana Sullivan, the Stampin' Chick, here with another Make It Monday! How are you today, my friends? I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Give me just a second to find my Facebook Live and be able to check comments. Let's see here. Am I live? I'm live. Yay. All right. Let's see how this goes. All right. I think we're good. Hope we're good. All right. Very good. Okay. How are you today, my friends? I hope you're all doing absolutely fabulous. I have had a crazy day today. What started out as getting a quick little test at the doctor's office turned into several hours worth of the same test, and I was not informed it would take that long. So I came rushing back home to get things ready for this evening, and so if I'm a little scattered, it's because of that. So, when you come in, say hello and let me know you're here. Let me know where you're here from. I always love seeing where everybody is tuning in from. It's always exciting to see all the different places all over the world. It's amazing. And if you wouldn't mind to share this video with your friends, because sharing is caring and that spreads the word about me, and I really appreciate it. And okay, let's see here. Okay. All right then. Let me go ahead and refresh my page here. And I think I'll be able to get going. All right. So there we go. Hi, Teresa. How are you in New Hampshire? All right. Okay, so as I said, I am kind of scattered today because I've got a lot of things to share with you and show you, and I wasn't here all day like I had anticipated being. So anyway, I had posted earlier about having received the Legendary Ride bundle, the Ready to Ride product suite. Hi, Miss Sherry. And the Share a Milkshake bundle, which is right here. So I just got these and I'm super excited about them because, I mean, let's face it, they're two of the most awesome bundles ever. I absolutely love them. I have seen nothing but amazing projects with both of these product collections, so I am excited to play with them. But I haven't done much of that yet. So, when I had posted it on my page, hi Amy, there were a couple of you who had asked questions or who had made comments regarding the Legendary Ride bundle itself, okay? And so I wanted to touch base with you on that, and I wanted to share some insight, and I'm going to show you how to assemble that dimensional-ish, the paper-pieced motorcycle, okay? Excuse me. Oh my goodness, dry spots in my throat already. Let me get a sip of water. Okay. So, yes, I have been answering questions and talking to people all day. Anyway, all right. I'm going to grab one of these little lemon drops so that way I'm not coughing and hacking through our whole video because that's awful. All right, so one of the questions was regarding one of the pieces of the die cut deal. And if I'm not mistaken, it was this piece right here. There was question about how this piece works with the dies. So I'm going to show you that. And then another of the questions, or more of a statement, was regarding this stamp right here, where it says, Dad, you're the coolest. And, I just want to mention that you can manipulate these stamps any which way you choose. And there are several ways that you can do that. One of the ways is to cut the stamp apart. I mean, if you wanted to, especially with one like this, where it's got the 2 different fonts, it's pretty easy to cut right here in between the words. And as long as you're making a singular cut, so let me just pull that stamp out here. As long as you're making a singular cut right here, you'll be able to see where to put it back together if you wanted to stamp it all as one stamp again. Hi, Luann. How's it going? So that's one thing that you can do. Another thing that you can do, and the thing that we're going to do this evening, is we're going to mask it off, okay? So I want to keep this as one stamp, but I'd kind of like to use something other than Dad. So I'm making this card for a friend of mine, and I want it to say, Friend, you're the coolest, instead of Dad, okay? So I'm going to show you how to do that. And when I do it, I'm going to be using the Best Family Ever stamp set. This stamp set is really neat because it has just about every relation you can think of in here. Plus, it has some little sentiments that you can put with them, too. And it's photopolymer, so it's easy to line the words up how you want them to be. In this particular case, we're going to use Friend, but certainly you could use Mom, or they have Mum for our European friends, and cousin. You've got Grandpa and Grandma, husband, wife. This is great. Brother and sister. I mean, it's got all the things. Aunts and uncles, so it's very cool. This is definitely the stamp set to have, because anytime you see one of those Dad specific stamps like this one, or Mom specific stamps, you can use this stamp set to change it up to relate to whomever you want it to relate to. Okay, so this is a wonderful one to have. All right, so I'm going to show you how to do that, and like I said, I'm going to show you how to assemble the motorcycle as well. So I wanted to show you the products that are in this suite. And I have the page open. If you have a spring catalog, you can turn it to pages 68 and 69 and play along with me. And this product suite has some really cool things. First of all, obviously the Stampin' Die bundle is absolutely amazing. You have 2 motorcycle dies here that will cut out the stamps if you want to just cut the stamped images. And then you have all of these pieces that allow you to build your own motorcycle, which is very cool. You have a wrench here. You've got a couple of different flame pieces. And then this little strange looking die right here is actually for this like dirt background, whatever. So it goes right there, okay? So that you can add some dimension to that. So that's really cool. These are the tires, and these are the wheels. So these would be like your chrome wheels, right? And then these would be black because of your tires. Of course, if you wanted different colors, you can do it whatever colors you want to, because that's the wonderful thing about paper crafting. You can make them whatever you want, right? All right, let's go ahead and get started. I have the Stampin' Die bundle here. I also have the embellishments, these adhesive backed studs, super cool. You've got 2 different colors, the brushed silver and black, and then 3 different designs. So you've got little rectangular bits, you've got circles, and then the diamonds, okay? So that's really cool. Yes, Teresa, exactly. Chrome rims. That's right. All the cool kids have chrome rims. Okay, and then the other thing, which I was absolutely floored and super excited to see, I have been dying for Stampin' Up! To bring us a diamond-plated embossing folder, okay? Now, they call it metal plate, but those of us who know, well, we know this is called diamond plating, right? Hi, Miss Vicky, you're just in time. Okay, now, there's something that I want to tell you about this embossing folder, and it relates to literally every embossing folder that we have, okay? The Stampin' Up! Logo is the front of the embossing folder. Now, what I mean, when you look at this and you say, well, I mean, they look exactly the same. Yes, they do, except that this is the raised side and this is the debossed side. And so you want the front of your paper pointed this way so that the embossed side will push through to the debossed side and will make the raised parts on the front that you want. Okay, now that's going to make perfect sense right here. I hope that you can see the difference in these. This one has the raised up diamond plating on the silver part, and this side actually has the diamond plating on the back side of my foil paper, and that's because I made an oops and wasn't paying attention when I put it in. Hi, Miss Elaine, how are ya? So you can see, now this looks okay, but if you know diamond plating, you know that one of the things about the diamond plating is that texture. So, you know, you can use this side and it's perfectly fine. And, you know, if anybody complains, well, you know, you don't need that kind of negativity, and they don't need a handmade card anyways. They can get a Dollar Tree card from now on. You've heard me say that before. But the correct or proper way, I should say, for the diamond plating is for the rough side to be pointed up. Hi, Miss Kim. I'm glad you're here because we're talking about the motorcycle bundle, and I know you're going to love it. You probably already have it. Okay, so when you put your paper in the embossing folder, you want to make sure that whichever side you want to be up is facing the front. It's facing the Stampin' Up! Logo, okay? So how I've got this raised up diamond plating on here is because I put the back side against the rough stuff and then ran it through the machine like this so that the rough side stayed on the front, okay? So just remember that the Stampin' Up! Logo is on the front, all right? And that gives you that beautiful diamond plating, okay? Now, so that you don't have to try it out just to see what it looks like, unless you want to, this is what the diamond plating looks like in reverse, and it actually doesn't look bad either. I would say this would be really cool more for other more feminine textures for other projects, not necessarily for diamond plating, because like I said, the diamond plating, that's the textured stuff, okay? All right, so now that I have explained that and you know the difference between the front and the back of the embossing folder, let me go ahead and set this stuff aside for just a moment. We'll get to the paper here in just a minute, all right? Actually, we'll go ahead and get to the paper right now. That way I don't forget to show you. And let me set my book over here out of the way. I have made a cheat sheet, which I'll leave it set. Let me see if it's in the whole screen here. No, it's not. Okay. There you go. I think that's in the whole screen now. You can see, and you may want to take a picture or a screenshot if you'd like. So this shows you all of the dies and how they are put together and how they work, okay? I will, I'll see if I can scan this into my computer, and post a good clean image of it on my Facebook page. I'll try to get that done this evening. But basically, let me open the dies up here. Here's what we have. So this is that frame, okay? This is the big motorcycle, and here's the little motorcycle. And then beside them are the stamped and die cut images. So I stamped the image and then die cut it with the framelit. Okay, so just like that. And then this here is that background stamp that I told you about. So I've stamped and die cut it here, and here I just die cut it in black. Okay, and then let me put these out of the way here. Okay, then you have the embossed piece here, which is like the guts of the motorcycle. Okay, this is the engine and all of the interior details of the motorcycle. And then you have the rims right here, which are these ones. And this detailed piece right here, this one, it's going to give you the chrome outlines and details that you see right here. Okay, so it doesn't have the wheels, as you can see, but it does have the fork and where the wheels attach to the frame. All right, so you'll want to use these points when you're lining up the wheels so that those little points are right in the center of your wheels, because otherwise what the heck is holding your wheel onto the motorcycle, right? So you can see it right there in the stamped image, and you can see it here with my put together motorcycle, right? So you definitely want to make sure that you're paying attention to that. Now, the fenders have a little mark on each one that actually matches the silver frame piece. And so you're able to line up which one goes where by that. Okay. And then this is the seat of the motorcycle. And what you're seeing, that split right there, would be, this would be the front seat and this would be the back seat. Okay. So you want to make sure that you got it turned the right direction. And the embossed piece that we talked about with the guts of the motorcycle, it actually has an outline for where that goes. All right, so you can see the outline of the motorcycle, but then it also has the detailed outline here on the embossed piece. And this is going to go right on top of that, just like how this is. Okay, and then you have your tires. So your tires are going to line up over your rims, so that you have beautiful rims and realistic looking tires. Okay, so it looks like that. All right, now then, there are other things. You have two flames. All right, this one, the bigger one, cuts out this piece and it cuts out the stamped flame. And I'm going to show you how I did this with the different colors, because this isn't just my ink pad running low. This is how I inked up my stamps. I'm going to show you that here in a minute too, okay? So I hope you guys don't mind. Today is going to be a lot more of quick tips and instruction and show and tell, but we are going to finish assembling a card, okay? And I have another card to show you also. All right. So these two here wouldn't necessarily go together, like for real. I mean, if you have a really avid auto guy or a biker guy, he's probably going to say, why did you stack those together? Because they're not really lined up to stack together. It's not like the insert of a flame. But it's close enough, like an insert, that I don't care. So, you know, if Mr. Biker Man is that concerned about the insert not being matchy-matchy, then you tell him to buzz off and, you know, be happy that he's got a card. Okay, so there's that. And then this one, of course, is the stamped image that I told you already, and it's die cut with the large one. All right, and then the wrench is a little bit weird and kind of out of place. Initially, I thought that it was like shock absorbing fork pieces or something, but you know, it's not. It's a wrench. It's kind of strange that it's all by itself. But anyway, that's what it looks like right there, die cut. Now, it does have a stamp, so the stamp would have a little bit more detail. This was just die cut out of silver paper. Okay. All right. So now that you guys have seen this, and I'll give you a quick second if you're going to take a picture of it or do a screenshot, now is the time, because I'm getting ready to move it away. All right, here we go. And before we assemble the card, I want to show you these two. This is the paper and is absolutely gorgeous. Now, you guys know the, what's the man paper? Is it the He's the Man? Whatever it is that had some pop out die cut pieces. These aren't pop out, but they're little like memories and more pieces or layer pieces that you can use for your cards. And like there's a tag and here's a tag. Certainly you could use these for scrapbook layout pieces or card layers or whatever you want to use them for, but these you have to cut apart, okay? So just know that they're not pop out die cuts. You actually have to cut these ones apart. But on the back side is this beautiful foiled paper, and I am absolutely in love with it. So I think one of my sheets is going to be used for the foiled paper, and the other sheet is going to be used for these. Though I'll be totally honest with you, I am in love with this product suite, and I plan to do a whole product-based class on it. So I'll probably have to get another pack of paper, at least one more pack, maybe two, maybe three. I don't know. It's very pretty paper, okay? So this page right here, I want to explain this one because the die for the big motorcycle will cut out some of these, but not all of them. Okay, so you have to look for the one that is shaped like this. You'll notice that it's got this singular section here and closed in section here, and the style of the seat. Okay, those are going to be indications to you, and the handlebars, as to which motorcycle will be die cut. Okay, so this one right here is perfectly matched to the die, but this one is not the same motorcycle. And even though it looks like, oh well, the wheels and everything are shaped basically the same, it is not the same, and it will not die cut. As you can see, that one's just a little bit smaller. Some of them are turned the wrong direction. I don't want to say the wrong direction, but they're not turned the same direction as this. So you want to make sure when you get to the point that you want to cut some of these out, some of them you will have to fussy cut, and some of them you'll be able to die cut, okay? But it's going to be just that pattern right there. So that one, this one here, and that looks like it. So you'll get three die cut images from this die, and then the rest of them you'll have to fussy cut. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Now, they're not going to be hard to fussy cut. You don't have to cut them really close and detailed, but you will have to fussy cut them if you want to use the motorcycles. All right, now while we're talking about that, I'm going to show you something with one of the other designer series papers from the Celebration collection. And Kim, I'm glad you're here because it's that paper that we talked about the other day, the one that you ordered, this floral print one. I'm using it with this bundle with the Legendary Ride collection, so you're going to absolutely love it. But I want to talk to you guys about these little bits and pieces that are along the edge that aren't complete bikes. Do not throw them away, okay? Do not throw them away. Just like with the flowers, this one was the corner of the DSP, and I just cut around it. You know, I fussy cut around the flower here, but these straight edges were already there because it was on the corner of the DSP. I'm going to use this, and you are going to absolutely love it, okay? And I've done that with a few of them, and I'll show you here in a minute. So do not ever throw away these images. Now, what do I do with them? I stick them in a Ziploc baggie, and when I'm ready to use them, I have them together, okay? So I may go ahead and die cut the ones that'll die cut, and then fussy cut all of the others, and then fussy cut all the little bits too. The ones that are just partial pieces, that way they're already cut. And maybe I'll do that, you know, one day when I'm just sitting doing you know, I'm not ever just sitting doing nothing, but you know what I mean. When you have a minute, when you're sitting in line, waiting to pick up the kids, or waiting at the pharmacy, or, you know, at the doctor's office or whatever, you can do some little cutting and have your little Ziploc bag, okay? So save all of those pieces. All right, but now the other side to that is a beautiful diamond print, and again with the black foil. So, you know, again, I'm probably going to get multiple packs of this, but at least one of my pages I'll use for the die cutting and fussy cutting of the motorcycles, and then the other piece I will use for the diamond plating, okay? This one is, oh my goodness, one of my favorite. I am in love with all the tread marks. So cool. You can cut these apart individually and use them as borders or stripes on your card or whatever. You can keep them in sections and put them as layers. Whatever you want to do, the possibilities are endless with this paper. It is so pretty. And on the back side, it has this beautiful paper, which for those of you who know motorcycles and know Harley's colors, it is spectacular that Stampin' Up! Chose to use pumpkin pie as their accent color for this collection, because it really hits home with all those Harley loving folks, right? So we have this, and then this beautiful rose pattern. I absolutely love it. Let's not just assume that this paper is all about the guys. We have all kinds of options for the ladies too. So these flower clusters are gorgeous. And then on the back side, we've got some road signs and things like that, little map backgrounds. So you can use these as layers. So it's going to be really hard to decide which piece you want to use or which side you want to use if you only have one package of paper. So I think I might have to get another one and do one whole package with this side and do another whole package with the other side. What do you think? I think that's the way to go. All right, now let me get these ones out of the way here. I already showed you the diamond plating one. All right, the next one here are the little wrenches. Now they tie in nicely, and I love the way that these look. And then there are designs on the back here. This matches that one paper right here. Right there, that image, it kind of goes along with these, right? So you have something that kind of ties in with that. Really cool. And that one is this other one. And then we have a nice checkerboard print with some vintage looking like jacket, helmet, tools, boots, gloves, things like that. Okay, so very cool paper. Absolutely love it. And even though I love this paper, I'm not using the paper tonight. Tonight, I am using the Favored Flowers Designer Series paper because I am using these purple roses because I think they're absolutely stunning. Okay, so like I said, all of these little pieces that are along the edge that have some parts missing, cut those out too. Keep them in a baggie because I'm telling you, you can use them. They're absolutely fantastic. All right, so let me get my project here. Okay. And I'll show you what I have so far. All right, so far I've got my 8.5 by 5.5 basic black card base, and it's scored down the middle. I have a 4 by 5.25 inch Blackberry Bliss layer for the inside and the outside. So this one's going to be a really nice, sturdy card. For the outside front, I have that smaller rose pattern, and it's 3 3/4 by 5, okay? And then I also have a piece of basic white cardstock that's the same size for the inside of the card. so that we have a place to stamp and write a little sentiment, a little note in, okay? All right, now, what I think I want to do is I want to lay this piece across here, but I don't want to glue that down just yet because this is going to be for a gal friend of mine, so I want to add some frilly, girly elements, okay? So I have taken my black and white gingham ribbon, and you guys have seen me do this before. I've taken my snips and gone straight up that center section there to rip it into 2 sections. So I've already done that. And then I've taken a piece of white twine from the Twine Essentials pack, and I'm just untwisting it so that I can get each of the strands individual, okay? Now, this might seem as kind of a pain in the neck, but it really does add to the texture of the bow. So, and it's not hard. All you're doing is just twisting it back the opposite direction, and then you're kind of keeping these separate and pulling them apart as you go. So you can see there, and then just let it untwist on itself like that so it stays separated. And then I'm going again. So it's not hard, you know, it takes you a few minutes here to get all of the strands undone, which is why I've already done all but the last one. I just wanted to show you how I was doing it. Okay, and it's not hard. It's really not hard, okay? So you're just untwisting it, and this is going to give you much more texture in your bow than just leaving the ribbon in one piece and leaving the twine in one piece, okay? So you're going to have all of these extra little details that are really going to make the difference, and they're going to make the bow look just spectacular, right? And I'm going to show you that right now. So now that I have my strips all together, okay, I'm going to wrap them around my silver foil piece here. And I want to tie it into a bow over here on this side. Okay, let me make sure I'm staying in the camera here. And I do pull it a little tight just to make sure that when I tie my bow, it stays tight. So I don't mind my paper to bend just a little bit. And you see how it's just curling just a little bit, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and make my loops, and I'll come around. I need to give myself a little bit more there. That was a little too much. So hold on just a second here. Let me have just a little bit more, friend. Just a little. Now there is a downside to doing all of these little tails, and that is that you have to make sure that you keep them all together. So yes, there is that, in case you're wondering. But it's not awful, you know, just keep your loops together, okay? All right, so now I've made my first loop, and I'm coming around, and I'm tucking all of those tails in, and hopefully, even though we're on Facebook Live, it's going to work nicely for me. Yes, it did. Okay, so now you can see my paper is still bowed up a little bit, but I'm just going to kind of gently tug on either side of the bow, and that's going to tighten up the knot, and it's going to free up just a little bit more room. And now you can see that my ribbon is snug to my paper and my paper is flat, okay? So that's how I get my bows to be snug up to my paper usually. All right? Okay, so now that I've done that, and of course I'm going to kind of turn this a little bit because I actually want my bow to be turned sideways just a little. So we'll just give it a little bit of a turn there, and that'll be good. And then I'm going to glue this piece onto my card front. So let me get my adhesive. Y'all notice that I have not coughed again since. Those Manuka honey drops are no joke. If y'all get dry throat, or, you know, especially in the cold and flu season when you might be getting a cold, These drops are absolutely the bomb diggity. Mine is, of course, honey and lemon. And it's these things right here. Now, of course, I'm not sharing this because I get any kind of royalties off of it or anything. But you hear it's working. So anyway, and they're not horribly expensive either. They're a bit more expensive than regular cough drops. But Manuka honey actually has antibacterial and healing properties, much more so than just regular honey. So it's really good. For those of you whose nanas always gave you honey and lemon or lemon, ginger, and honey for wintertime colds, that Manuka honey has even more healthy properties than regular local honey does. So it's actually really, really good stuff. Anyway, there's my spam message for you. All right. Now, I put that down there, and I can tweak that a little bit more as I want to. You know, I'll fluff it up a bit and trim off my tails here. So we'll just, like that. There we go. Come here, friends. There. Okay. Now that we've got that done. All right. Now then, we're going to assemble this motorcycle. So now we're getting to the part where I told you a couple of folks had either commented or asked a question. So now I'm going to show you, okay? I'm going to get my silicone mat. If I can find it. There it is. It was hiding. Your silicone mat is absolutely fantastic because it keeps your workstation clean, okay? Now, I like to put all of my stuff out here, and I'm going to bring this out one more time so that you can see, okay? We've got the base here, and I have the, let's just call that the motor parts and everything, and then I've got the frame. I have both of my rims. I have both of my wheels, both of my fenders, and my seat. Turn that around. There we go. So I believe we have everything we need. We have the base, the motor, the rims, the frame, the fenders, the seat, and the wheels. We are good to go. All right. Now then, let us first grab our liquid glue. And I want to put my wheels and my rims together. So what I did, because I am really light-handed with my glue, but if you are heavy-handed with your glue, put a drop of glue here and get a sponge and do it that way, because when you put glue on foil, it does wacky things, okay? So it can dull it, it can smear it, it can do all kinds of weird stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a very light amount along the outer edge of the rim. Okay, now I'm going as close to the edge as I can possibly get. I'll put my finger there in the middle, and I'm going around the edge, and you can see I'm just barely putting any glue on. And then I'm going to take my wheel and I'll line it up with the edge and put it down, okay? So the rim does have just a little trim of chrome on the inside, so that's why we put the glue to the outer edge and then put the wheel down to the outer edge, okay? So I'll show you that one more time. I'm going to go around the outer edge of the rim here, really easy on my glue, just very, very light, all right? Just like so. There we go. Put my wheel down and tap it on. Okay, now we have some pretty cool looking wheels. All right. Okay, now then, I'm going to do things just a little bit out of order for a second, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to go ahead and put my fenders on because you can put this part on first. It doesn't really matter the order on this particularly. Remember that I'm looking at where the little embossed groove is, and I'm matching it with the fender on the frame that matches. So in this case, the groove is on the front, and on this one, the groove is on the back. So I have the fender with the groove on the front, and I'm going to put that down. Now, for those real bike folks, you'll notice that the fork should go over the top of the fender, and if you're really particular about that, you can snip the fender into a couple of pieces and take that tiny little section out and just glue the fender on either side of the fork. I am not that particular, and I am not going to worry about it. However, if I were sending this to my cousin, I might be that particular because he's a biker dude. So, you know, take it as you will. Of course, I'm hoping that he would think it was cool enough that he just wouldn't say anything. Maybe he wouldn't even notice. Okay, now here we are again. We're lining up the little embossing piece with the embossing piece on the fender. So this goes to the back. And now we've got our fenders on our piece here, and we're ready to go with that. Now, I'm going to tell you why I put that on first instead of layering everything in order, because I wanted to show you the reason why I put this in black. Now, I don't know that there's necessarily a right way, particularly. Certainly when you're being creative, there's no right or wrong way. You know, you can make your motorcycle hot pink and black or blue or purple or red or whatever colors you want. If you want it to be Irish flag colors, by all means, you make that motorcycle whatever color you want. But I think I particularly like the guts of the motorcycle to be the same color as the background outline, because I just think that it looks a little bit, a little neater. So if I were to put this on, you'll notice that it follows the path of the outline on the body. Okay, so up at the top, and it's got just a little tiny space. It actually doesn't sit right up at the top of it. It comes down just a little and leaves a tiny little border in there. And you'll see why I say that here in just a minute. So if I were to lay that down, and let's pretend that it's attached, and then I take the frame and I add it on, there is a spot here where the gas tank is. It's got some little diagonal lines, but there's a solid outline around it. And you actually want the outline of your gas tank on the frame to match that and line up. Okay, so that's how I know that this piece is supposed to be down just a little bit. Because when I put this on, in order for it to line up everywhere else, and you'll also notice, is that the cam? Okay, I'm not entirely sure, but I meant to ask Matthew before I came on here. But this piece right here has a matching piece on the black one. Okay, and so you can line it up and line up the gas tank, and they will line up perfectly. Okay, so that's what I use to line them up. All right, and then it goes just like that, and it'll line up with the handlebar and the headlight, and you'll know you've got it right. So if I use, let's say, the Blackberry Bliss, which is the color I'm using for the seat and the fenders, this makes the bike look really cool too, but it does totally change the concept of the bike. Now it looks more like a dirt bike. You know, it looks more like a sports bike rather than a cruising motorcycle. So, you know, you take that how you will. Okay, so there's that. Still looks cool. Okay, now then, let me show you what it looks like with the chrome. Okay, if we got a really fancy bike here and we want to chrome everything out, right? You kind of lose some of the details. Okay, it just, it loses just a little bit of the details, but it makes it look more realistic in the middle, okay? Because then when I put the seat on, come here, seat. When I put the seat on, it actually makes it look like that's the motorcycle engine and everything else. Oops, and I'm bumping it. It's kind of hard to put it all on here without bumping it out of the way. Okay, so it looks more like that. There we go. So that's really cool. And the black is really cool. Let me bring over my chart again so you can see what it looks like. This is when I put the black piece behind it. So it's everything the same as this, but with the black behind it instead of the chrome. So it gives you a good idea of how everything looks, okay? Now then, one last thing before I start gluing all this down is to make sure you remember that your wheels go underneath the forks on the bike, okay? And that you want that little round part of the fork to go right there in the center of the tire, okay? So that's kind of your defining line there. And then same thing with the back piece. You want it to line up with the center of the tire, okay? And then there's your bike. All right, so Miss Vicky, I hope that answered your question with regard to how the bike goes together. Let me go ahead and change this out. I'm going to do this in black because since I have the diamond plating behind here, if I put too much of this chrome, too much is going to be too much. So I'm going to save these pieces for later. And I am going to go ahead and glue, I'll go ahead and glue this piece directly on. So let me grab my glue. And I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. You know, normally my videos are not super long, and I'm hoping this one isn't either, but I really wanted to be able to show and answer questions about how this is done, because I think you guys are really going to love it. It is absolutely a gorgeous set. So I'm going to bring this in just like that. There we go. And now, when I lined up my tires, I lined them up with the outer edges of the silhouette. Okay, so what I mean is, I lined it up with the very back edges, okay, of the tire. So, I'll do that on this one as well. Okay, and again right there on the edges, just like so. Okay, and that's pretty cool too, actually. I mean, that looks like a like a Knight Rider type bike. Maybe you put all of this in black and put it over the top, and that would just look pretty bad, right? All right, let me go ahead and glue all of this stuff down here. So again, I'm going to be very careful with my glue. If you're not able to be careful, remember to get the little sponge and do your glue that way, because you don't want to get glue everywhere. It'll make your whole card sticky. All right, and you also want to be kind of careful about not stretching out the frame, because it's kind of delicate, and you know, it's weird, like it'll actually stretch and discombobulate itself, and you know, no idea why. Alright, so I'm lining that up just like so, making sure that my fender is lined up with the fender, and my headlight and handlebars are lined up beautifully, and the back side looks good, so that looks alright. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on the seat and attach it as well. And then that is it, my friends. It really isn't that complicated of a piece once you see what all the parts are. Okay, so now I'm gonna put that one on just like so, and there's my bike. Okay, Now then, I'm going to put this on dimensionals. So let me move that stuff out of the way. Bring this in, and I'm going to put it right there. Okay, so that's what my card front is going to look like. Now, I may need to manipulate my dimensionals just a bit, because I want them to kind of straddle that ribbon so that they're not so bulky. Okay, so I'm going to have to put a half of one here and a half of one here. Alright, so that's okay, we'll do that. There we go. Okay. We'll put half of it way up here, as high as we can get it. The black ones would be really good for this so that you don't have any chance of seeing anything. I don't have my black ones with me, they're tucked away, and these ones are right here on the table, so this is what I'll use. But yeah, black ones would definitely have been good. Okay, there we go. Alright, and then for this one, I want to put one along this edge, like that, and I'll put one up here, like that. Okay, that should be pretty good. Okay. There we are. And then put that right about there. I kind of want to move my knot down a little bit. There we go. There we go. Alright, and that looks gorgeous. I love that. And all the beautiful purple roses and my bows. Just stinking cute, right? I hope you guys like that already. That's so cute, isn't it? Okay, now we're not finished, of course. We want to add a little bit of bling to the front. And I'm not going to put a sentiment on the front because of the sentiment that's going on the inside, okay? So I'll just go ahead and grab some of these little diamond bling here. And we'll put them around the card. There we go. Alright. Yeah, I kind of want that one moved. Do you ever do that? You sit and fiddle with it? Yeah. Okay. Well, and then I've already pushed it down so it's sticking. There we go. Let's move this one down here. There we go. That's better. Alright, that's better. I'll leave it. Okay, so there's my card front. Alright, now for the inside. Okay, so Miss Teresa, this one is for you, darling. Okay, so I have the Dad, You're the Coolest. Alright, and I don't want Dad. I want Friend. So I'm going to bring out my Friend stamp. And now you will stamp these separately, okay? Let me grab my blocks. So this one will go here, and this one here. Okay, now then, I'm gonna take some of our masking paper, and I'm gonna just line up right over. Let me get in view so you can see what I'm doing. I'm taking some of our masking paper, and it's sticky on one side, okay? And I'm attaching that right here at the very tip top of those words where it says you're the, okay? And so I'll cover up Dad. And you know what? Let's use, where is my Blackberry Bliss? Here we go. Let's use Blackberry Bliss. Okay, and I have my card base here, or my little card layer. Okay, I'm going to ink this up good. All right, and then I'm going to peel this off and set it aside. Okay, and then let me see here. Okay, so now I have You're the Coolest, right? And then I'm going to take Friend, and I'm going to put it right over the top. And I'm going to try really hard to line this up without messing it up, because it's a little hard to look over a camera. There we go. Just like that. Okay. Now you have Friend, You're the Coolest, instead of Dad, You're the Coolest. Well, there you go. So you can change it to literally anything you want, okay? And you can do that for absolutely any stamp you want as well. So, for example, it's your birthday. If I didn't want that ride on there, I could mask that off and just put It's Your Birthday, okay? So, you know, don't be afraid to mask off your stamps. All right, now, the last thing I want to do with this one is I want to stamp this little black motorcycle. Right, nope, I don't, because that's going to take up too much space. Okay, so hold tight on this one. We're going to cut a little edge of that paper to go with it. But while I have that motorcycle stamped, I'll go ahead and put it right here. Okay, there we go. And then you remember that rose that I told you I was going to show you how to use it? Here we go. So you can see I'll line it up with the top edge of my envelope right there. And then I will glue it down and trim it so that it lines up with the envelope, okay? So there it is right there on the flap, all right? Now, let me give that motorcycle just a hot second to dry. My studio is a little humid because I've been running the laundry, and the laundry is in the next room. So it's kind of taken a second for my inks to dry, which is okay. I just need to let them do it. So let me clean my stamps right quick while that's drying. And I will show you cutting some of those little fragment pieces and what we can do with them, okay? All right, so there we go. Okay, I'm going to set that off to the side as well. Now be careful with this because, you know, that part could be wet for a minute and you don't want to transfer that ink. So make sure you totally set it aside, okay? All right, let me grab that paper. Here we are. And excuse me, let's see here. Let's do that one would be really nice. Okay, let's do that one. So I'll just cut some of it off. Okay. And when I'm doing these edge pieces, this is exactly what I'm looking for. So, you know, my sentiment is taking up a good section of the middle. I could have gone up a little bit higher, but the sentiment is kind of big. So if I have a little flower that hangs off the edge just like that, it's going to give it some, bring in the flowers from the card front and make it look beautiful, and it's still going to give me plenty of room to write my note. Okay, so I'll just come along and like so. And I'm not being super tidy with my fussy cutting. I'm leaving just a little bit of border. You know, you don't have to sit and take an hour to cut a tiny little piece. If you want to, you can, but I don't have time for that. So I'll just do a quick little cut. Okay, just like so. And then I'm going to put the straight edge, obviously, right there along the straight edge. And look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? It's fabulous, right? If you guys love it, give me some thumbs up. Let me know you're still here and I haven't lost you yet. This is great stuff, right? Okay, now a little bit of glue. Remember, a little dab will do you. Don't get too rough with it. Okay, but you do want it to stay. So there we go. Put this on right there at the edge, just like that. And there we go. Okay, isn't that gorgeous? And now it ties in beautifully with the front of the card. Okay, now that should have had enough time to dry. I'll go ahead and attach it. And I'm going to be really careful not to smear it anyways, just in case. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate that. Yeah, this is a really cute bundle. I am loving it. So I'm definitely going to be doing a nice class with this one. Okay, so there we go. There's the inside of our card. Absolutely gorgeous. Here's the outside of our card, looking pretty snazzy. And then we'll take the envelope and this piece, and I'm going to glue it on just like I did the inside section. And that's why I love all of these little offset pieces. You know, you don't have to worry, oh gosh, it's not, you know, it's cut off or whatever. Don't worry about it. You're going to be able to use it. No problemo. Just like that, right there at the edge and right at the top of the flap. Absolutely gorgeous. And now I'm not touching it down yet because I got to make sure I cut it. I know that I went over just a little bit because you really want it to be glued all the way. Anything that you're gluing to the outside of your envelope, you really want to make sure that you're gluing all the way to the edges, because you certainly don't want it to snag in the postal reader, right? That would be awful. So let's go ahead and snip this off. You know, it's okay to get glue on your scissors. If you get glue on your scissors, folks, I use alcohol wipes to clean them. It cleans right off and it makes them nice and beautiful again. Okay, so there we go. Isn't that stunning? Gosh, that is gorgeous. All right, so there's that side, and here's this side. Here is our card, just absolutely gorgeous. Now this morning I had posted another card on my blog using this same designer series paper, but I used the fancy, what's it called? What's it called? Where did I put it? Well, I had it sitting out. The Stamps and Dies. I swear I had them sitting out so I could show you. Okay, well, whatever. Whatever. Oh, here. No, that's not it. Okay, well, anyway, the one with all of the sentiments, I can show you here because I don't know what I did with that. Oh, it's around here somewhere. Okay, so the word there, the thank you, is from, it's from this Stamp and Die bundle towards the front of the catalog. Something fancy, that's it. Oh, I was looking in the wrong spot. There it is. I was looking in my fancy instead of something. So anyway, here's the stamp set, and this is the thank you sentiment that I used. And it has the dies, these label dies that coordinate with it. And super fabulous, lots of really cool sentiments, and I love that the labels can be used for all the kinds of things, so it's really cool. So that's the one that I used on there, but otherwise, everything else, all of the images that you see are literally from the designer series paper doing exactly what I just showed you, okay? So, you know, I've gotten both of these cards out of this little section of the DSP for that one sheet, okay, which is just awesome. So I've used the same background piece as I did on that one. It's this smaller more closely put together roses. This is the Scallop Contours die. I fussy cut this rose and put it on there, and then that same flower, or the same bow that I used for tonight, I did that here, so you saw how to make it. And with this one, I put some fresh freesia in between the layers, and this one is a Blackberry Bliss base with black, where this one is black with Blackberry Bliss. But I put that fresh freesia in there, and I really like that little hint of the lighter shade because the roses are lighter, and so I think it lightens up the whole card, right? So you can see, let me set these aside here so you can see. With this one, Blackberry Bliss is certainly the prominent color, right? It doesn't have the fresh freesia in the background to really make it pop. And so what you see here is more of darker roses, even though this paper and this paper are the exact same paper. It's really cool how that works, isn't it? And then on the inside, I've done the same thing. You know, I put a little ink of fresh freesia around the fresh freesia layers just to kind of soften it up a little bit. And then I took one of those rose pieces from the edge, fussy cut, and added it to that layer. And now I can put my little thank you note inside the card, and there's the envelope that matches, right? So 2 cards using that same DSP, and this DSP is free with a $50 purchase, okay? So any $50 purchase you make, whether it be in the spring catalog or the annual catalog or whatever, you can get the paper for free. So I think certainly if you buy the Legendary Ride, or Let It Ride Suite, you're able to get that as a free designer series paper. And let's see, the whole suite is only $84.75. That's the stamps and die bundle, the embossing folder, a package of the embellishments, and a package of the paper. $84.75. Hello, that is amazing, right? Okay, so, and then that Something Fancy stamp and die bundle is, let me see here. If I thought to go to the back, it would be easier. It's $45.75. So if you bought, you know, a package of embellishments with that, then you would also qualify for the paper. So, you know, lots of ways and options, and lots of ways that you can purchase and get stuff in here for free. So remember, while Celebration is going on now through the end of February, that every $50 that you purchase earns you something free from the Celebration brochure, and they accumulate. So if you order $100 worth of stuff, you'll get 2 $50 items or one $100 item. If you order $150 or more, then you'll get Celebration rewards, plus you'll start getting Stampin' rewards on top of it, which is absolutely spectacular. All right, so if you don't already have a brochure or Celebration brochure, hit me up, let me know. I will get one in the mail to you or get it over to you if you're local. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would absolutely love to be your demo. You can find me at danasullivan.stampinup.net or simply thestampinchick.com. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, yada, 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 using the hashtag The Stampin' Chick. All right. I hope you guys have had a wonderful night and have enjoyed my projects. I really enjoyed sharing them with you, and I will look forward to seeing you all again next time. Okay. Until then, my friends, I love you all so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye for now.